for now. Let me tweet it out, give some people some time to show up. You know, the obligatory stuff. I should also grab myself a water bottle before I start. Okay. It's good, everything looks good. Alright. Great. So we're just about ready to start. Let's load up. So last we had met the twin characters Asa and Yoru, and there was this typhoon. Asa and Yoru have moved in to our dorm, or at least for the time being. Seems like Asa is content with staying with us, meanwhile Yoru kind of wants out. Either way, the next day the typhoon had passed and the blue sky spread over Kazugara. I also said I would grab a water bottle before I started, and I am a liar. I will go do that now. I grabbed a second one for dinner later. I drink a lot of water. Alright, anyway, what's up guys? Kane, I could kind of see that you're somewhat here. Please consider it. Standing behind Kotori, we bow our heads. This is a 4th grade classroom. Yesterday we were ordered to go to the student council room, so we decided to take the initiative and go to Akari's classroom. We state the matter frankly. We are making an application for the revival of the Soaring Club. It was a negotiation to restore the Soaring Club, which lost its status last year. The title of leader of the Soaring Society isn't just a decoration. For a year, Kotori has been negotiating with the student council for the revival of the Soaring Club. However, the previous student council president had said that, "I don't think that Mr. Tobioka would allow it." That was a typical example of someone who is afraid to rock the boat. The previous student council was dissolved, and in the election held a few days ago, Akari was chosen as a new student council president. In her case, she might actually listen to what we have to say, so Kotori finally had grounds for negotiation. Akari was deep in thought as she stared at the application petition for the revival of the club. We watched over her with tense expressions. If it isn't officially recognized as a club, there are a few circumstances that could spell trouble for us. First is the issue of the ownership of the glider. That is property of the Soaring Club, so if it becomes a club again, it should be officially recognized as being under our ownership. It was built using club funds, which is why it was taken away by the school along with the club status. In actuality, over half the funds for the construction were paid by Amane herself. There were also the problem of the club's funds. Currently, we are facing a serious shortage of funds. went crazy and told me you were streaming as a rapid fire notification. Oh wow. Damn. Really want you to catch the stream then. The parts and materials come from Ageha and Kotori helping out at Anchan's place, but the transport costs for Ageha and I go to the airfield, and the cost of the flight training is no joke. Our intention is to use the funds to help cover these costs, even if only by a little. Another thing, the fact that we can't use the school facilities. For the manufacturing of the parts, even if we want to use the school's equipment, they won't give us permission. Everyone just uses it freely, but with Mr. Tobioka keeping an eye on us, being found out could cause problems. Lastly, we don't have anywhere to conduct our activities. As a result, we had to occupy the room used by the Kazano sisters. We can't continue to use the dormitory as our base of operations. Everyone was desperately pleading with her, but... glare. Akari stared at us with a scary expression on her face. Her voice dropped down a tone. That alone was enough to make us cower in fear. Even if we're totally busted, we have no choice but to play dumb. Akari is usually a fair person, but she wouldn't be that flexible. If it was clear that we had taken it away, she would definitely have to take action. The way she said it made it sound like she was implying, I know it was you. She's completely right though. The thing with the glider was a huge miscalculation on our part. We knew that it would be a big disadvantage when it came to applying for restoration of the club, but it couldn't be avoided. Knowing that this would happen, we came to her first to negotiate. Could it be some kind of geek? Like an airplane geek. Maybe they really wanted it no matter what. As I desperately try to give a suitable answer, Akari looks towards me. It wasn't. No way. I answer while choking on my words. My heart feels heavy as Akari's eyes full of righteousness shoot a gaze right through me. Well, that's a thing. Okay. Without thinking, I answered honestly, and Ageha gave me a poke in the ribs. That was like I was saying, actually, we stole it. Said Akari as she caught a glimpse of our expressions. It seems that she'd like to know about that. About who leaked the information to us. At that moment, Masatsugu appeared, calling out in a frivolous voice. That bonehead Masatsugu, he's only just realized we're here. These big cars are every moment already. Well, spaghetti. So, you could just get the hell out of here. Masatsugu sticks his chest out in a patronizing kind of way. Oh yeah, that's right. He joined the student council this year as its secretary. In response to Masatsugu, Akari glared at him. Oh, what? Wait, who? Akari?
犯人が一般生徒だと仮定してどうやってその情報を知り得たのか。
Oh, the dude. Masatsugu.
どうしてでしょうね。俺バカなんでわかんないや。
Agaha and I look at each other. Isn't there a better way we could try to trick her? Akari seemed convinced by this poor attempt at deceiving her and didn't pursue it any further. For the time being, it's good that she didn't find the perpetrator who leaked the information. By the way, this is kind of besides the point, but it looks like Masatsugu has broken up with his girlfriend, who he was in a band with. According to him, the reason was because of musical differences. According to Agaha, he got dumped. After that, he met the girl he was destined to be with, an older girl called Akari Kumoi. Then, in order to chase after her, he joined the student council. Throw it out the window like right now. That's the end of that little side story.
廃部の一件については以前お話しした通り、同情的な気分にはなるけれど、どうしてやることもできないわ。
Right after Amane left, it was decided in a staff meeting that the club would have its status repealed without any notification, and then the garage was forcibly taken from us and demolished. This was all under the instruction of Mr. Tobioka. Some of the students were against it, but Mr. Tobioka went ahead and forced it to be demolished. The reason was that this had been promised from the beginning. Pathetic. He really is pathetic.
単に望月先輩以外に部員がいなかったからというもの。でも実際はあなたたちがいたわ。それなのに先生方の都合で廃部を決定するなんて、これは生徒会自治系の悪質な侵害行為だわ。あの時私が会長だったなら、もう少し抵抗できていたものを。
She spoke with her fist clenched and furrowed brow, and she looked genuinely frustrated. She wouldn't forgive those who selfishly ignore the rules, even if they are teachers. So that's what happened. She's the one who, when all is said and done, was working hard to help the Soaring Club to survive by putting pressure on Amane, who had been continuing with the club all by herself, at the time when the club was in danger of being shut down. She's strict, but really, she's a good person. Yes, President, the decision to repeal its status should never have been made. This was our big chance to make ourselves heard, but Akari shook her head. Now there are only 3 members. To a club, you need at least 4 members. This was also something that was discussed in DDLC. This is about whether or not the activities are suitable for a student club. There's no problem as far as that goes. AI agreed with me? What? AI? As well as the pilot, you also need qualifications for the equipment. Things like gliders cannot be administered without qualified personnel. Before Amane had all the necessary qualifications, so it wasn't a problem. AI on Discord in your DMs? Discord in my DMs? Oh, what? God, you're pathetic. Okay. So, have you actually started to watch Kizuna Eye, or is that just a thing? Mr. Yamanobe, who had until last year been the advisor, withdrew when the Sword Club lost its status. He was under close scrutiny from Mr. Tobioka, and had to deal with a super problem child like Amane Mochizuki. So it's no wonder a third of his hair had gone white, despite still being quite young. Nice. He's timid, but a decent guy and a good teacher, though.
生徒会が認めたとしてもそれでは飛岡先生らは認めてくれないでしょうね。
Oh, nice. The way she spoke was quite gentle, but what she really meant was, there's no way Mr. Tobioka will let this slide if he can't fulfill the minimum conditions. In other words, you're saying it's not entirely impossible. Akari
条
nods.
件さえクリアできれば我々生徒会から先生方に掛け合ってみましょう。
With a look on her face that said, this is what being fair is all about, Akari reassured us. Thank you very much, President. We bow as we make our way out of the 4th grade
グライ
classroom.
ダーはくれぐれも見つからないようにすることね。
Damn, she knew. Okay.
素直な子ね。
Watch on subscribers on your Twitch, YouTube. -1. Twitch, YouTube. Oh, what's up, Shelby? How long have you been here? Did you just get here? As I empathetically reply, Akari treated it as a joke and paid no attention.
お前らマジで盗み出すなんて思ってなかったぞ。
As we step out into the hallway, Masatsugu came straight over to protest. Just got here, nice.
じゃあどうすると思ったのよ。
そりゃあ
The one who gave us the news that the glider would be donated to the museum was none other than this guy. It seems he found out because it came up in the student council agenda.
盗んだんじゃないわ。返してもらったのよ。だってあれは私たちのものなんですもの。
だからってな、もうちょいやり方ってもんが。
What do you mean? In the past, we used to play way more pranks than this with Anchan, didn't we? Ageha says, yep, and she nods.
やったよね。で、怒られたよね。
俺はお前らと違って真人間なんだ。
How much hard work did we put into making that thing? When you think about that, what you did was no big deal.
だろうと思ったから教えてやったの。
In just a garage? Yeah, that garage got destroyed though. Rip. Wait. Did you put something in there? Oh my god. What did you do? Subscribers -1? Oh. Rip. I probably have like -50.
あんま無茶すんなよ。
Yeah. Thanks for helping out. He's a cool dude in the end.
じゃこれでホームルーム終わるな。一丁
起立。気をつけ。レイ。あっさちゃん。今日こそ逃がさないぞ。見学に来てもらうんだからね。我がカルタ部を。
And as promised, here's Asa.
いや、それはちょっと。
だって何？うん。
だって何よ。朝ちゃん、部活まだ入ってないんでしょ？
Get launched into the windmill in the background. It's like that didn't leave so far. The lollies.
それはそうだけど。だったらね、お願い、見に来るだけでもさ。新任部員全然入ってなくて先輩困ってるんだ。私も寂しいし。1年生、私合わせても2人しかいないし、片方男子だしさ。すごく寂しいの。お願い。ね。
No, don't listen to her. She doesn't even have a portrait. She's not important. Oh no, we lost her.
もらえるなら行ってみる時でもね、人助けだと思ってさ。他にやりたい部活ないんだったらね、麻婆豆腐おごってあげるし。
She was supposed to join us.
麻婆
I guess she likes Mapo tofu.
なんだったら担々麺もつけちゃう。美味しい超辛い中華料理屋見つけたんだ。
I feel like that's actually hilarious, the timing of this, because I only recently found out that there's apparently some type of like super spicy noodles called the nuclear noodles, and they actually look super spicy, man. It's mostly like 2 times spicier than a jalapeno. It's not the spiciest thing out there, but it definitely sounds pretty bad. Especially considering that I think spicy food tastes delicious, but I am terrible with handling spice itself.
パンパンねチロリ
チロリ。
お主が辛いものに弱いのは知ってるんじゃぞ
Oh, so
おれ釣られるがよい
it's not just Mambo tofu, she just loves any spicy food. Okay. I've actually had Mambo tofu before, and it is actually good. Gokuri.
姉さん
And there's her sister. Let's go, the twins.
おヨーロちゃんそっちもホームルーム終わったのどうしたのいやねクラスの子から部活の勧誘受けててあら君って朝ちゃんの双子じゃああなたもどうかしらカルタって一見地味に見えるけど結構白熱する競技で私はパス別にカルタに興味ないし
興味ないし。
ヨーロちゃん待って
興味ないね。She's Cloud.
あちょっと朝ちゃんまた逃がしたかちょっとヨルちゃん感じ悪いよ今のだって別にカルタに興味ないし姉さんだってそうでしょそりゃそうだけど姉さんって頼まれごと断るの下手だよねいつか誰かに利用されて損しちゃうよ大丈夫だよ私それなりに賢いし自分で賢いなんて言っちゃってる時点でね
Look at that face. Gotta screenshot that. That'll make a great emote.
それに私なんかに声かけてくれてるんだから適当に返したりなんてできないよ、姉さんはほんと優しいわよねだったらカルタ部に入ってあげればよかったのにでもそれはねえヨルちゃんソアリング同好会ってどこで活動してるのかな
I mean, it used to be in the garage, and now it's in your new room.
どうしたの急にそんな話題いやねそうねなんとなく姉さんもしかしていやその
I knew it. Let's
や
go.
めた方がいいよ姉さんソアリング同好会は部活じゃない
It can become a club
ない
again.
みたいだし
Join
め
us.
んどくさい先生に睨まれたりもして悪いことずくめだからみんな入らない近づかない大体あんな奴らの仲間になんてよくご存知だねヨルちゃん
Join us. Let's hear so far.
まあねじゃあ活動場所も知ってるそれは知らないというか人が止めてるのにスルーなのね姉さんはでも姉さんがそんなにお熱なんてほんと珍しいよねだからこんなにムカムカしてるのか私の心の清涼剤愛しき姉さんを奪う悪い奴らね絶対に許さないんだからヨルちゃんほんと私が励ましてもどうってことなかったなんで急に元気になっちゃうかな最近ずーっと微妙な塩梅だったじゃない姉さんなのにさどうしてどうして
どうして
どうしてって言われてもあの寮に来てから目とかランランしちゃって元気になってそりゃ私も嬉しいけどそれ以上に悔しいしヨルちゃん盗んだんじゃないわ返してもらったのよだってあれは私たちのものなんですもの
だからってなもうちょいやり方ってもんが
What do you mean? In the past, we used to play way more pranks than this with Anchan, didn't we? And
やったよねで
I'm starting to see how this is linking up. This is literally what was happening as that was, yeah, okay.
俺はお前らと違って真人間なんだ。
声かけないの？いや、楽しそうだったから声かけないってのよくわからないけど、私なんかが入っちゃうと迷惑じゃない。コミュニティ乱しちゃうだけだよ。
Or you'll save us the pain of having to find another member.
姉さん、中途半端な遠慮がちょっとうざい。そんなんでスワリング同好会がどうのなんて。だって話しかけたいなら話しかければいいのに。それでスワリング同好会がどこで活動されてるか聞けば一発だったじゃないの。それはそうなんだけど。ほんと姉さんはいつだって他人優先よね。自己中の私と違って心配になるくらい。ま、それが姉さんのいいとこだとは思うけど。別に他人優先ってわけでもないよ。それに私も自己中だし、いきなり引っ越したいって言ったのも私だし。それでヨルちゃん巻き込んじゃったし。私に関して言うなら勝手についてきただけだけどね。ほら、やっぱり迷惑かけてるよ。そうだ、もっと迷惑かけるつもりでおじいちゃんにグライダー買ってって頼んでみたら。あれくらいだったら買ってくれるかもよ。違うんだもん、買いたいわけじゃないもん。そうじゃなくて、あれを自分の手で作る？飛ぶ？なんだろう。うまく言えないけど、ああいうものに私も向かいたいというか。夢ね。私にはわからない感性。くだらないお遊びとしか思えない。でも姉さんらしいや。一つずつ解決していきましょう。
On the way home, we were discussing the conditions that Akari spoke to us about. The easiest one to solve is getting enough members. Agaha, do you have anyone in mind?
なくはないけど、しのちゃんとか興味あるみたいだし。葵はどうなの？
I hardly have any ideas either. There's no one who has actually come forward and said that they want to join. The general level of awareness of the Soaring Club has risen since the time Amane was doing it by herself, and the number of people interested in the club's activities has increased. On the other hand, the rumor that if you get involved, Mr. Tobioka will have his eye on you is spreading, so there is not really anyone that would join that easily. Kotori, how about you? As Kotori sat there in her wheelchair, she looked down, deep in thought. Her expression seemed gloomy somehow.
どうしたの小鳥？私ね、新入部員入れたくない。
Hey, what's this all of a sudden?
だってその誰かは私たちがどんな思いで何をしてきたか知らないのよ。モーニンググローリーに憧れる気持ちも、あまねちゃんとイスカのことも。
Or about the day we were so close but couldn't quite make it. Agaha and I had the same kind of expression as Kotori. We had mixed feelings about having new members join, so we're trying to carry out our activities as a club, so I understand this is a contradiction. It's not easy to make a clear decision.
あまねちゃん、今頃どうしてるかな。さあ、相変わらずなんじゃない？
Amane is now working at her father's laboratory. We sometimes text her, but the replies either don't come or if they do, they come much later. It's obvious that she's not much of a writer, and it's likely that she doesn't even realize when a text has been sent to her. Sometimes she replies to several texts, all at the same time, so the content of the message is hard to understand. She's probably sitting in her seat at the laboratory, but I wonder what she does all day. Is she eating properly, I wonder? I feel nostalgic as I recall the way she ate. That totally spoils the effect of her good looks. We only spent about 2 months together, but to us, that time still feels very special.
あまねちゃんにとってグライダーはもう過去の
As Kotori mumbles quietly, we all start to feel kind of sad. When she's concentrating on something, she loses sight of everything else around her.
きっとそのうちすごい発明品を作って世の中をあっと言わせちゃうんじゃない？
It's possible that Amani's inventions are already everywhere, but we just haven't realized. She's not the sort to boast about her own achievements. Which is why, even if that happened, she wouldn't go as far as to send a text saying, "Isn't that great?" or something like that. We'd like her to send us something, though.
また飛ばないとね。それであまねちゃんに見てほしい。
Right. In order to do that, there were many hurdles for us to overcome. One of those was finding new club members.
ここのパーツは学校の機材で作れるんだよ。だから昼休みにでも忍び込んで。問題は主翼よね。
I guess there's no way we can make them unless we have somewhere
時
spacious.
間もかかるから、あんちゃんとこの工場を借りるのも難しいし。ガレージさえあれば。あ、何か用？
We had spread out the designs on the dining hall table, and we had had our faces close together when we noticed Asa watching us from a distance. It almost seemed like she was hiding in the shadows.
別に何も。
Kotori tilted her head as if to say, "What a strange girl." Oh, are we in the way? Sorry, there are no other big tables. Since we lost the garage, Bouncing Fish Manor has become the base of operations for the Soaring Society. We normally use my room, but I've vacated that for now, so the only other places are here or Kotori's room. We need a table just to lay out the design, so now we're using the dining hall table.
皆さん楽しそうだなと思って。楽しそう？
We all looked at each other. Because we looked like we were all deliberating it, Asa felt unnecessarily intimidated.
それ設計図ですよね。
Yeah, for a glider.
作るんですか？自分たちで？そうだよ。全部じゃないけどね。すごい。3年生にもなるとそんなこともできるようになるんですね。さすがおじいちゃんの芸風学園だ。
Well, that doesn't really have anything to do with it. Until now, we haven't been taught anything in class about making gliders.
でもグライダーはもうあるんじゃ。
Yeah, but something happened.
あれ壊れたままだし。
Ageha spoke like it was something to laugh about. In the last flight with Amane, there was damage such as cracks to the fuselage, and it still hasn't been repaired.
まあでもしばらくは無理ね。修理も改造も。どうしてですか？場所がないのよ。でっかいものを作るにはそれ以上にでっかい場所が必要なの。でっかい場所です。
Asa seemed to be mumbling something while deep in thought.
お腹すいた。
And there's Kaneko. Kaneko let out a pathetic whimper as she came into the dining hall. I look at the clock to see that it's 6 o'clock. It's already this late? It's about time to start preparing dinner. Shall we call it a day?
そうだね。
We cheerfully fold up the designs.
あさちゃんどうかした？いえ別に何でも。それじゃあまた明日ね。
Yeah.
またね、アゲハ。
Kotori and I see Ageha and then go into the kitchen.
さて夕飯の支度するか。今日はなんだっけ？
Diablo chicken and rocket salad, taught to us by Hibari. Yesterday we made okonomiyaki from leftovers, which was a little disappointing. Having said that, everyone seemed satisfied. So today we decided to try something more extravagant. By the way, Diablo chicken is a spicy dish of chicken fried in pepper and spices, and is unbelievably delicious. It makes you sweat a lot, so it's the perfect dish in the summer.
じゃあ私はサラダ作るわね。
Sure, I'll leave that to you. It's been a year since she started helping with dinner. Kotori's gotten used to it too.
やったね。私あれ大好きなんだ。本当に美味しいのよ、あさちゃん。あさちゃん？
It seems that Asa can't hear Kaneko's voice as she stares into the kitchen. Then, slowly,
わ
she said, as if she were compelled by a sense of duty. No, it's okay. Right now we're causing so many problems for you, like not even being able to give you a proper room.
そうそうこれは私の仕事だからでも
Asa is looking at Kotori.
もしかして車椅子の私が仕事してるのにとか思ってる
Diablo chicken. Asa's so cute. Yeah.
いえそんなことは
She fidgets uncomfortably. Seems like Kotori was spot on.
甘く見ないでもらいたいわね私こう見えて結構できる女だから
Kotori sticks out her modest chest with pride while sitting in her wheelchair. Don't worry, once the preparations for your room have been finished, we'll give you some chores to do too.
はい
She seems despondent, somehow. Does she feel like she's being scolded?
いいじゃんやらせてあげれば
Kaneko?
葵くんらしくないよ部屋のことで遠慮してるのかもしれないけどそれは良くない遠慮だと思うなほら朝ちゃんおいで
Kaneko takes Asa by the hand and brings her into the kitchen.
いいからねえ葵くん何すればいい
Okay, could you wash the vegetables? To start with, I'll try asking her to do something that seems easy. Having said that, since we have to prepare enough for all the boarders, just washing them is quite a big job. Kaneko had only brought Asa in here, but it looks like she isn't planning to help. Asa stands in front of the sink and picks up some
これ
vegetables.
を洗うんですね
There is dirt all over the roots and so on, so wash them carefully.
わかりました
Asa answered with sincerity, then started to wash the vegetables. With detergent. Stop! Stop! You can't use detergent!
でも洗うんじゃ
Just water is fine.
そうなんですか
It's been a while since I saw something as stupid as washing food with detergent.
じゃあ水で洗ってと
Scrub, scrub. Splash. Scrub, 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 scrub. Splash. Scrub, 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 scrub. Hold on, Asa.
はい
That's probably enough. If you wash them too much, they'll lose all the nutrients.
そうなんですか
If we keep on at this pace, we'll never get it finished.
でもちょっとしか洗わないとばい菌残ってそうで怖いし
So...
もういいから貸して姉さん夜ちゃん
Yoru appeared from behind and took the vegetables from Asa's hand. It seems like she was worried about Asa, so she was watching over her.
姉さん本当に容量が悪いんだから量が多いって言ってもたかが洗うだけなんだからさ
Yoru starts washing them in a way that looks like the work is flowing smoothly. In contrast to her appearance and behavior, is she actually good at housework? She's unexpectedly homely and might be a good girl after all.
野菜洗ったらどうする何かやることあるならついでにやっとくけど
Declared Yoru, who really doesn't seem to have any motivation in her voice at all. Okay, can you cut the vegetables?
やれないわけないでしょ
It would be a big help if you could cut some onions, carrots, potatoes, and so on for the soup.
はいはい一つだけ言っておくけどあんたたちの手伝いしてるわけじゃないんだからね姉さんを見てられないからやってあげてるだけで
I stand corrected. She's not a good girl after all.
はいピーラーいらないわ目が深いからこっちの方が早い
As she said that, Yoru started to peel the skin from the potatoes with a knife. She was doing it really nicely, only peeling off the skin and leaving the insides intact.
なかなかやるじゃない
Natsuki. Nah. Natsuki. Why do you have sour grapes about it? Why do you have sour grapes about it? After washing the vegetables, without wasting any time at all, she peeled the potatoes and carrots, then started cutting them with the knife.
このくらいのサイズでいいのもう少し小さい方がいい
The potatoes were cut into almost equal bite-sized chunks. No, that's fine like that.
そう
Yeah, lengthways.
はいはい。言っとくけど、私の時給は高いんだからね。
This seems strange somehow.
本当に上手ね。葵くんとどっちがうまいかしら。ムカつくけど、私よりできる女だ。ちょっとだけ。何？
Nothing much. Did you make the meals at your house?
別にこのくらい家庭科の授業でもやってればできて当然でしょ。私はできてないけど、私の家両親が開けることが多くって、使用人が作る料理が気に食わないからってヨルちゃんが作ることが多かったんです。姉さん、いらないことは言わないの。どこで勉強したの料理。家庭科の授業でこんなことまでやらないと思うけど。
Also, he spelled Natsuki wrong, Kane.
ググればいいわ。
Google it, cuss. You can Google it. That's gonna be a screenshot. I see.
ネット全盛のこの時代、親から教えてもらわなくても料理はできると。
Google. Oh no.
ヤルちゃんは何でもすぐに覚えて何でも上手にやれちゃうすごい子なんです。だから私の自慢の妹なんですよ。だから姉さん、余計なことは言わないの。
She's a conceited genius girl. That day's dinner was really delicious. A few days have passed since the twins have come to Bouncing Fish Manor. We searched in several places for somewhere we could move the glider, but we couldn't find anywhere. If we want to rent storage space, it costs a lot of money for somewhere that big. There's no way we have that kind of money. Anchan might be able to introduce us to somewhere, but when we thought about the circumstances under which we carried off with the glider, we couldn't really get him involved. Our last resort was to put it in the garden. We could carry the glider into the garden and cover it with a sheet. Overlap it so that the rainwater doesn't get in.
小鳥、そっち引っ張って。ねえ、長さ足りないんだけど。
The boarders came to watch us at
こ
work.
んなとこ置いといて平気なの？
I don't know. I don't think it's very good though. But we can't help it because there's nowhere else to put it.
いつまでこの部屋を使わせる気かしら。私はこの部屋嫌いじゃないけどな。壁の色とか出窓とか洒落てるもん。姉さん忘れたの？ここ男の部屋よ。そうだけど。でも葵さん綺麗好きだしいい人だもん。
See, I'm a good person.
それは関係ないと思う。昨日だってタンスからトランクスが出てきたし、ヨルちゃんのパンパンかと思っちゃったよ私。男の人ってああいうパンツ履くんだね。びっくりだよ。ねえ、いい加減諦めて家に帰ろうよ。それかせめてこんなオンボロじゃなくてもっとちゃんとした寮を探してもらいましょう。まさか姉さん本気であいつらの仲間に入りたいって思ってるんじゃ。そもそも泥棒よ。泥棒だからって悪い人とは限らないよ。ほら正義の義足的な。あいつらの行為は自分たちのためでしょ。夢を叶えるためだったらルールを無視していいだなんて、それこそ本当に自分勝手だと思うけど。
I mean, she's not entirely wrong.
あれ？何かな？外にみんな集まってるよ。
Stuff cloth into the python tubes so that bugs don't get inside. Then put the cover over the canopy. Hearing the noise that we were making, the two sisters came outside together.
何してるんですか？
We're putting the glider out here. From now on, it won't cause you any inconvenience.
でもこんな場所じゃ。
They said it wouldn't rain for a while. Well, we might be able to do something about it. Is that spell yours? It might be. Kotori, did you say that part's not long enough?
なんとかこの場所で本当に大丈夫なんでしょうか。さあどうだかね。 FRP だから腐食はしないし劣化もしづらいけど全くしないってわけじゃないし、そのせいで強度に問題が出て飛んでる最中にバキッ
バキッ。ああ。
あれが全部入る場所があればいいんですよね。そうだよ。そんな場所があればだけどね。ちょっと姉さん、何考えてるの？あそこなら入るでしょ。本気なの？何か言いたいことがあるんならちゃんと言った方がいいよ。そうだ、いい場所があるわ。
That voice rang out surprisingly well across the air on this sunny day off. It was just like it was being read from a prepared script, which might be because it was strangely monotone. Everyone all stared blankly at her at the same time. Asa became timid. Kaneko gave Asa a gentle push in the back. Asa took half a step forward. Asa, did you say there's a good place? Kotori goes for it without hesitation. At times like this, she's the most earnest. Asa seemed like she was holding back as she glanced at Yoru, then pointed towards the lake. Right, they had a base, didn't they? Is it really here? The place that Asa had brought us to was Windmill Hill. The area around here is supposed to be part of the renewable energy research facilities. This place has been opened up as a walking course so that the citizens can enter it freely, but there's nowhere that looks like it would be able to house a glider. However, Asa climbs over the gently sloping hill. Behind her, Yoru was sulkily following her. Asa stopped in front of a large building that had been built on the edge of Windmill Hill. Ageha and I both made a face that seemed to say, "Here?" at the same time. We knew about this building. This had been here since before the windmills were built. It looked like a research facility or a storeroom, and had a somewhat mysterious appearance, and we had just decided amongst ourselves that it would be a place for monitoring the water quality of the lake. Now that we look at it again, it seems more like a factory. It's much bigger than I remember it. At that time, the door was locked and we couldn't get inside. Asa took a key out of her pocket and opened the door that had been locked. The 10-year mystery was about to be solved. As we stepped inside, our hearts pounded. It was a mess inside. There were several desks with outdated computers, documents, cardboard boxes full of junk, and to top things off, there were bottles of soy sauce and seasonings placed here and there. From the things there, it seemed like there were signs of activity, but looking at the room as a whole, it seemed like it had been abandoned. It had an air about it that made it feel like it had been deserted and forgotten about. Ah. Zombies!
事務所っていうよりは研究所って感じだよね。何やってたんだろう。
Ageha goes ahead and starts looking at things in the room.
おじいちゃんは若い頃に暴落だって言ってましたけど、
Why did they leave it here and not have it demolished?
この丘一帯のおじいちゃんのものだからよ。今は自然エネルギーの研究のために貸してるだけ。
So, he's a big landowner.
再開発では随分と儲けさせてもらったわ。
Yoru gave a grin as she spoke. He's the chairman of the board for Keifu Academy and seems to be a local celebrity. The reason why he knows my mother might also have something to do with that.
私たちおじいちゃんから鍵をもらって時々ここに来てたんです。この場所が好きだったから。好きだったのは姉さんでしょ。私はついてきてただけだもん。
Yoru was muttering under her breath. The reason why she was so sulky must be because she doesn't want anyone else to use it. We, holding back slightly, took a look around the room.
広いけどここじゃ作業はできないわね。グライダーを保管するには問題ないんじゃない？いえ、ここじゃないんです。
Asa totters over to the back of the room. Passing through the door on the other side, Kotori was overwhelmed by how spacious it was. As I looked up at the high ceiling, my mouth was agape. This isn't so much a garage, it's more like...
ドックよね。
Yes, it's a dock. For building and maintaining ships and airplanes. That's judging by how vastly spacious it is and the equipment that's in here.
なんでこんなものがこんな場所にあるわけ？おじいちゃんたち昔趣味で飛行機を作ってたって言ってました。いつも口癖みたいにわしらはここで青春時代を過ごしたんじゃって。
If it's Asa's grandfather, then it's possible that this would have been after World War II. They might have gathered scrap and tinkered around with machines.
でしょう。バッチリよ。これだけの広さがあれば2台くらいいっぺんに作れちゃうわ。
There's no problem with the space or the equipment. Rather, there's actually more than we need. It's not that far from the runway either. It would be easier to transport it from here than from the school, which is in the town.
早速運び込みましょう。でもってすぐに修理に取り掛かるのよ。
Let's go.
あんちゃんに頼んで車出してもらわないとね。
Wait. Their eyes are sparkly like it's already been decided that we'll be using it, so I stopped them for a moment. Of course, it would be good if we could use it, but for Asa to say that we could use it for nothing in return actually makes me kind of worried. To think that there would be such a great facility here. Is it really okay for us to use it? Asa had a meek look on her face as I asked her.
一つだけ条件があります。
Asa spoke nervously as her voice became quite high-pitched. So it's really not for nothing after all. We brace ourselves for what condition might be.
私も仲間に入れてください。
As Asha shouted out her intentions, her voice echoed around the quiet dock. It echoed for a while before gradually disappearing.
私グライダーのこと何も知らないし何の取り柄もないです。夜ちゃんみたく何でもできればいいんだけど。でも、私もグライダー作りの仲間に入れてほしいんです。
At the last part, it sounded like she was going to cry, as she did her best to speak her mind.
鳥
Kotori had a serious look on her face as she was deep in thought. Kotori had said so a few days ago. She'd said that in actual fact, she didn't want any new members to join. We felt the same way, but of course Kotori understood that given the circumstances, there was no way we could not let someone join.
やっぱりダメでしょうか。
Hey, Asa.
はい。
Why do you want to join us?
グライダーに興味があるから？それとも私たちが楽しそうだったから？それは。
Asa began to stutter as I asked her a slightly tricky question. we needed to recruit new members anyway, and we would be able to use these amazing facilities, so it should be okay for us to accept unconditionally. But I put those thoughts to the back of my mind. These thoughts that were hard to make sense of felt like they were stuck in my chest.
私寝場所が好きで夜ちゃんと2人で時々遊びに来てたんです。そこでおじいちゃんがケーキを作ってたって言ってた。
It was just that staring everybody. That's what Yoru said before. Asa's just interested in things that fly through the sky.
あの日も2人でここに来てました。そしたら湖の向こうから白い飛行機が飛んできて、
A white aircraft.
その時まで私はグライダーっていう名前も知らなかったんです。それもしかして私たち？いつのフライトだろう。
After thinking it over a little, we suddenly realized, could it be? Was that when we did the first test flight? After completing the main wings, we went on our first test flight, and that was also the day that I piloted the glider for the first time. On that day, I flew across the lake to Windmill Hill. Then, when we turned around and headed back to the other side of the lake, I noticed that someone was looking up at us. That's it. It was two petite girls. Just like Kotori, they were girls who liked gliders. I remember that was the impression that I had. So, Asa and Yoru were the ones here at that time?
はい、多分。
What is all this? I hadn't even thought about it until now.
それからまたグライダーが見たくてここで待つようになりました。ほとんど毎日来てたけどウインチが壊れてしばらく飛べなかったのよね。
It appears that during that time, Asa was waiting for us.
それからしばらくしてあれは夏休みの終わりくらいだったと思います。家で嫌なことがあって私ここに一晩中隠れてたんです。気がつくと窓から光が差してて外に出てみたら明け方の空にすごく綺麗な雲が浮かんでました。
We instinctively reacted with surprise and looked at each other. Could it be?
紫とピンクの空に筆で描いたみたいな一筋の雲が浮かんでて夜ちゃんと一緒に見てました。そしたらそこへ
Without knowing it, I was shaking. Ageha held my arm to stop it shaking. Kotori's face went red and had at some point become engrossed in Asa's story.
グライダーが飛んでました。あの時はまだそれがグライダーってことすらよく分かってなかったですけどね。夜ちゃんに教えてもらってそれで分かって、でもずっと見てました。不思議な雲が消えるまでずっと。
And this is, I'm guessing, how Asa will win over Kotori. Asa put her hand on her left arm and quietly closed her eyes. It was as if she was reliving the scene of them disappearing, like it was painted on the inside of her eyelids.
それが理由なの？はい、私自分に何ができるとか何がしたいのかとかまだよく分かってないけど、でもいても立ってもいられないんです。あの日見た光景が忘れられないんです。
I noticed that Asa's knees were shaking. It's like she's scared of something. However, even though she was shaking, she didn't give in. She summoned her courage, as if there was something that was desperately wanted to bring up.
当たり？
Ageha gave Kotori a gentle pat on the shoulder. Kotori nodded. There was no need to check. We all felt the same way.
あなたしかいないわ。うちの新入部員になれるのは。ようこそソアリング部へ。
As of today, you're one of us. As she was suddenly welcomed into the club, tears welled up in Asa's eyes. Her cheeks had already become as red as apples.
本当にいいんですか？だって私グラ
It's true that to build and fly a glider, you need expert knowledge and techniques.
でも全部の作業がそうってわけじゃないしね。
We were complete beginners a year ago.
皆さんが
Isn't that right, Kotori?
何の問題もないわ。ここを貸してもらえるだけでもお釣りが来るくらい助かっちゃうし。それに共犯にしちゃえば秘密をばらされる心配もないしね。
It felt like Kotori said something both eloquent yet crooked, but everyone just completely ignored it. The most important thing is your feelings of wanting to fly through the sky.
空を飛びたい気持ち。
If that's how you feel, you'll be fine, right?
その通り。というわけだから今日からよろしくね。
Asa seemed vacant as she wiped away the tears that had accumulated in the corners of her eyes.
よろしくお願いします先輩。
As Asa cheerfully lowered her head in a bow, Yoru sullenly looked away.
私は入らないから。
Looking at her twin sister, sulkily making her intentions clear, Asa had a troubled expression, but a smile that returned to her face. We took another look at the place that we were now able to use. Our heads soon started to fill with all the thoughts of what we would be able to do here.
これでやっと始められるわね。飛ぶための準備をね。
Time, which felt like it was going nowhere, began to feel like it was accelerating. Please, come in, come in.
ここが私たちの部屋ですか？
They have like the best room now. Look at this place. This place looks banging. Asa's eyes sparkled as she... Oh, I should also screenshot that. Asa's eyes sparkled as she looked at the room that had been tidied up.
夜ちゃん、私たちの部屋だよ。狭い。
Crap! You have like the biggest room in the place. Look at this place. Yoda's eyes seem to glaze over, but I guess aren't they like rich or something?
デカブツがどいても狭い部屋は狭いわね。広すぎるよりは狭い方が落ち着くよ。ほら、見て見て夜ちゃん、隅っこ。
As she said that, Asa showed her the pilot seat in the corner of the room. However, even though there should be plenty of room for two people in here, when we consider that they're the granddaughters of the chairman of the board of Keifu Academy, it seems they might think it's a bit cramped. At that moment, I felt the difference in social status. I'm sorry it took so long, and that it's so cramped.
いいんです。葵さんの部屋も私好きでした。パパの部屋みたいな匂いがするとか言ってたもんね。
Papa?
言っちゃダメだよ、夜ちゃん。
There's only 2 years difference between us. To someone like me, who other people the same age say is quite mature, it's kind of depressing to hear that. I think I'd want to have daughters who are cute like Asa and Yoru. Before that, there would need to be a mama. You can use this room as you please. The rules are as I told you before. Hey, Ageha! Okay.
はいはい。
Well then, Yes?
お邪魔します。おお、やっと片付いたんだね。お隣に住んでるものです。これ、お裾分け。
Asa gives a serious bow to Kaneko as she comes in, carrying chocolate snacks.
どうぞよろしくお願いします、花子さん。はいよ。こちらこそよろしくね。
After receiving the snacks from Kaneko, the sisters happily share them between themselves and start eating. I go over to Kaneko and have a quiet word with her. You seem to pay a lot of attention to these two. During the daytime, it seems she casually gave some advice to Asa, then pushed her forward.
そうかもね。
So, which is it?
困ったことがあったら言ってね。お隣同士助け合っていきましょう。
Mom and Papa get together, they make babies. Yeah. Babies.
ありがとうございます。
Well then, I'll leave the rest to you.
はいよ。
I'm relieved that Kaneko is taking care of the two of them. Asa, Yoru. Thanks for today, for letting us use that place.
私は貸すとは言ってないので。
Yoru turns her back to me, then sits straight back down and started stuffing herself with chocolate. So she doesn't like me, huh? Let's do our best from tomorrow, okay? So, we got a new member. We now have 4, so that's one problem out of the way. To officially being recognized as a club.
やっほー、あかりちゃん。こんにちは、花子さん。やけにご機嫌ね。えへん、ちょっとね。うちの寮に新しい子が来たんだけどさ。例の水瀬葵が寮母を務めているという不純な寮に。
Purity? Oh no.
そうそう、そのいかがわしい寮に。すっごい可愛い子なんだけどさ、うまくなじめないみたいで心配してたんだよ。でもやっと打ち解けてきたみたいで。あなたって案外面倒見がいいのね。そっちはどうなの？生徒会気合い入れてやってるみたいだけど。問題は多いけど一つずつ解消していってるわ。中でも一番厄介なのはソアリング部。そうよ。望月先輩が引退なさったの。他のこと始めればいいもの。そんなこと言って結構応援してるくせに。してません。私はいつだって公正なだけです。先生はちっとも公正じゃないのにね。でさ、その新しい子もスワリング部に噂をすれば。はーい、あさちゃん。あ、かなこさん、こんにちは。どうも。何してんの？葵先輩たちを探してるんです。部活のことでお話があって。葵先輩？部活？そっかそっか。頑張りなよ。はい、それじゃあ。かなこさんって綺麗だよね。
ああ。
そう？水準以上だとは思うけど。かわいいでしょ。ねえ、かなこさん。あの二人ってまさか。そう。今年入った風戸姉妹。理事長の孫だっけ？やっぱり水瀬葵ね。富岡先生と対立しているからって理事長を味方につける気ね。
The skirt's so short.
いやー、ないない。やはり抜け目がないわ、あの男。なんで急に抱きつくの？葵くんのことになると熱くなるあかりちゃんが可愛かったものでつい。何よそれ。いいから話しなさい。やだもー、このセクハラ女。
Must be a relationship at this point. At lunchtime, as I was eating my lunch, Asa came into the classroom. Kotori and Ageha were with the girls, while I was eating with some of the boys I get along with. The boys suddenly got excited when they saw Asa. Of course, you can see that. If she wasn't, she wouldn't start calling my name all of a sudden. For the time being, I push past all these annoying guys, then go over to Asa, who is waiting at the door. Hey Asa, what's up? She blushes when she realizes that the older students are looking at her. Kotori calls out from her seat. She politely bows her head to them. Ageha beckons her over, and Asa fearfully steps into the classroom. She's nervous about going into the classroom of older students. Yoru appeared from behind the door and followed Asa just like a shadow. Speaking of which, was Yoru there before? Whatever they do, wherever they go, they're always together. Now it's the group of girls' turn to make a fuss.
双子なの？かわいい。ねえねえ、誰なの？どういう知り合い？ふふふ。この子は私たちの後輩よ。
Kotori seems to be boasting, almost as if to say, I'm the one who raised them! Even though she only met them recently.
はじめまして、風と朝です。
Once again, Asa bows politely and introduces herself. She's quite shy, but she does these kinds of things properly. On the contrary, her sister. With a sullen attitude, she looks away with a look of complete disinterest on her face. In other words, this has nothing to do with her.
小鳥のとこの寮生なんだけどね。今はソアリング同好会のメンバーでもあるの。
Asa blushes in embarrassment as Agaha introduces her as a member. The girls call out, "She's so cute!" when they see these mannerisms. They certainly are cute.
お弁当もう食べた？いえ、まだです。これから夜ちゃんと一緒に食べようと思って。
She showed the lunchbox that she had brought with her.
じゃあ一緒に食べましょうよ。ね、決まり？
Kotori forcefully makes a decision for her. Asa is alright with it, but
夜ちゃんも一緒にどう？別に構いませんけど。
Yoru accepted the offer too with a reluctant expression. The group of girls became noisy and excited to see the pretty twins who were just like a pair of dolls.
しょうみなせのやつ
Correction, the boys were the same. You mind if you leave first?
何？葵くんも一緒に食べる？
No, it's okay. Asa came here because she had something to talk about.
そうだった。ごめんなさい。私そそっかしくて。今日の部活ってあそこでするんですよね。
When she means over there, she means the secret base that she told us about a few days
そ
ago.
のつもりよ。
The leader answers.
これ
Asa handed Kotori a key.
合鍵作ってもらったから。勝手に出入りしちゃっていいの？
As expected, even Kotori has her reservations.
はい、構いません。おじいちゃんの許可ももらってます。ありがとう、朝。
After school, we moved the glider to the new base. We took the necessary tools with us and made the preparations that would allow us to start working.
なんだか秘密基地みたいだね。
That expression fits it perfectly,
子供の頃に戻ったみたい。なんか燃えるわ。
said Ageha in a good mood as she got to work. It's true, this place feels a lot like when we used to play Secret Base when we were little kids. This dock, constructed from steel, is just like how we pictured a secret base back then. Instead of a spaceship or a robot, there is a glider. This is our secret weapon.
おー、なんかやる気出てきた。 すごい埃。全然掃除とかしてなかったので。こりゃ手こずりそうね。まずは埃を払って、それから拭き掃除して。
In this room, the cleaning was already underway. There's electricity, and if we cleaned it, we'd be able to stay here overnight. I might go back to the dormitory and get the vacuum cleaner.
そうした方がいいかも。
Kotori answers as she winces from dust going into her face. What's Yoru doing today? I was under the impression that the Kazano sisters were always together, but today Yoru isn't here.
今日は用事があるとかで。
Could it be that she's angry? It seems she was against you letting us use this place. As Asa's expression darkened, a short tone came from her cell phone. It was a text.
夜ちゃんからだ。お前の大切なものをいただいた。回答 Y より。画像が添付されてる。なんだろう。
Taking an interest, Kotori and I take a look at her phone.
何これ。なんかしましま模様が。
I don't know. At first, we couldn't tell what it was a picture of. There was something that looked like human skin, a triangle of fabric, and something stripy.
これ。私のお気に入りのしましまパンツ。
What? They were pink stripy panties, but it seems that Yori was wearing them and had lifted up her skirt to take the picture. In other words, this is a view of underneath Yori's skirt! Also went as stiff as a board as she looked at the screen. Another text came. Does it get to you? If this makes you mad, you should remember not to ignore your little sister. Why the thief?
あの子天才じゃなくてバカだよね
Fuck. As usual, Asa is frozen to the spot. It seems she's in deep shock that her precious panties have been stolen. What can we say to console her at a time like this? Totally powerless, all we could do was pat her on the shoulder. Still affected by this incident, we managed to finish the cleaning in half a day. It's quite tiny now, isn't it?
そうね寝袋とかあればここで寝られそう
We can't just throw things away, so it's still quite jumbled, but cleaner than before.
元気出しなさい朝パンツなら今度私がもっといいの選んであげるからそうじゃなくていやそれもあるけど葵先輩にパンツ見られたことが悲しいんですもう嫁に行けないかも
What, really? Anyway, that's too much hassle to get involved with, so I pretend not to hear as I put down the photo frame. This should be okay here. I put the photo frame on the desk, which stands at about waist height. I brought this from the dormitory along with the vacuum cleaner.
いいんじゃない部屋のどこからでも見えるし
Finding face.
うん気合入るよね天音先輩に見られてるかと思うと
Nah. I like this one. We can't let our past selves... We can't let down our past selves. Or Amane. These are the feelings we've had up until now. On that day, one thing ended, but it was also the start of something new. Asa seemed a bit down when she came over to take a look at the picture of all of us. She was the only one not there.
一緒に撮ろうね記念写真私たちのグライダーが飛んだらはいそうだこんな時だけじゃなくてさ普段から撮っておきましょうよ私たちの活動の記録ってことで
Yeah, that sounds good. Something we could leave behind for our successors so they can see what kind of things we did.
後輩たち
This is a club, isn't it? We'll leave it behind for generations to come.
そっかそんなこと考えたことなかったわ
What? Even though we have a new member? In the same way that we inherited the glider from Amane, I thought we'd leave something behind for the ones who were looking up at the clouds with the same feelings that we had. Maybe it's still too early to be thinking about that, but it was fun to think about that kind of future.
ごめんなさい怪盗 Y 様もう二度と夜ちゃんをないがしろにはいたしません大切なものを奪われる気持ちが少しは分かったかしらはいこれに懲りたら妹にもっと優しくするのだそれ以上に男の人にパンツを見られる恥ずかしさを学びましたえ男の人にパンツさっきの写真一緒に葵先輩がいたから私が履いてたところ夜ちゃんが履いてたところ私のパンツ葵先輩に見られちゃった
Obligatory, it's time! I don't know why I always find these amusing, but I do. Alright, one more time. Alright, we out. I always do find those moments amusing. Since moving our base of operations to the secret base on Windmill Hill, our club activities were getting more serious. Until now, we'd been working underground and we couldn't achieve anything that stood out that much, so now it was our chance to work hard. The first thing for us to do was work on the repairs to the damaged aircraft.
ガラスマットが含んだ空気をハケで押し出すようにして樹脂を塗るの。こうでしょうか。塗りすぎ。もっと少しずつでいいから。このくらいですか。まだ多い。FRP が樹脂の割合が多いと強度が弱くなるの。
Play tricks. Yeah. I'm getting that feeling too.
じゃあこのくらい？少なすぎ。難しいです。
In the corner of the dock, Kotori is teaching Asa the process of making things from FRP. In the same way as 1 year ago when Ageha taught Kotori, they were making a dish from FRP.
そうそう、その調子よ。で、なるべく手早くね。
It's gonna be her bra.
なるべく手早く。こぼした。流れてる。どうしよ
Asa knocked over the bucket filled with resin.
う。もう何やってんのよ。ああ、これじゃもう使えないわね。ごめんなさい。
Asa seems disheartened as she apologizes. However, Ageha doesn't go easy on her.
いい？ここにある資材には限りがあるの。足りなくなったらグライダーを作れなくなっちゃう。技術はおいおい身につければいいけど、資材や道具は大切にしないとね。
It felt like Ageha was saying, if you understand, then that's alright. Then she came back over towards me. Ageha and I were repairing the damaged parts of the aircraft. FRP repairs are carried out in much the same way as when joining the parts that have been built separately. We attached a glass mat to the back of the damaged parts, spread the resin to laminate it. Once it's dry, we sand it, then paint it again. Once it's finished, it's pretty easy. Then paint it again, and then it's finished. It's pretty easy. She's trying her best. Stop being a bug. Well, I mean, you can't always bend over backwards. I mean, again, resources are limited. And we actually can't use that resin anymore, as it was stated. The problem is that when we reinforce the damaged areas, the FRP becomes thicker, which increases the weight. Of course, it's a problem if it becomes heavy, but in the case of a glider, the balance of the aircraft might also get messed up.
右翼の損傷箇所はここだけ？
Yeah, next is a body.
よし、今日中に全部終わらせよう。
These are the cracks that we haven't been able to fix for a year. We wanted to do it so we'd be able to fly again soon.
また失敗しちゃった。
Bully her enough, though. Ageha doesn't know that. Asa let out a sigh as she cleaned up the resin that she had spilled. It was spilt on the floor, so it can't be used again due to impurities being mixed in with it, but because they are using it to make a dish as practice, it can still be used for that. As Ageha said, there is a limit to our materials, so when we run out, we don't have the funds to be able to replenish them easily.
空気を押し出すように。
She was probably in this room. Kotori relaxed, closed her eyes, and started to tell a story about something. The way she looked was just like a great actress looking back on half of her lifetime.
何をやってもうまくいかなくて、自分はみんなのお荷物なんじゃないかって悩んだりもした。
She's gonna mess up. Why let Elsa do it? I mean, she can at least try. I mean, if it's not already blatantly obvious by now, Asa's like that type of character who really wants to help and always has good intentions, but usually just ends up making things worse by trying to help. Like, they have good intentions, but like, she wanted to help cook dinner, but it turns out she was completely incompetent. She was like washing the vegetables with detergent, and then washing the vegetables too much. Also has Murphy's Law. Is that what it's called? I think so. I don't really know the exact term, but yeah, she's definitely one of those.
でもね、そんな私を変えてくれたのはかけがえのない仲間たち。かけがえのない仲間たち。そうよ。仲間たちとの絆で私は変わることができたの。もう無理、限界。
Ageha threw down the brush she was using to spread the resin.
何かゆくなるようなこと真顔で語ってんのよ。見なさいよこれ。サブイボ立っちゃったじゃない。
Next to her, I held onto my stomach as I broke into a fit of laughter. What is this? Don't make me laugh. I can't hold my hand still.
真面目に言ってるのに。はあ、かゆいかゆい。
Watch out, Asa. Sometimes she makes a really serious face and says some hilarious things.
今のはギャグだったんですか？ギャグじゃないもん。
Kotori started throwing things at us in anger. Ow! Sorry, I'm just kidding. Ouch!
ほら、期待に当たるでしょうが。いたた。バカバカ。デリカシーのないアホ野郎ども。地獄に落ちろ。
Sorry, I'm sorry. Well, I'm happy you feel that way, though. It's just that you need to have a sense of the time, the place, and the occasion. Isn't that right, Ageha?
嬉しいけど真面目に作業してる時に言うのやめて。ほらほらここ。手が震えて歪んじゃったよ。
Hey, let's not be rude.
あんたたちが悪いんだ。
Not knowing if we were joking or serious, Asa couldn't keep up with it and just watched us.
皆さん、やっぱり仲がいいんですね。ちっとも良くない。今の聞いたでしょ。友情を信じてたのは私だけなんだから。ちょっとからかっただけだってば。愛してるよ、小鳥ちゃん。
Our friendship will last forever.
もう絶好よ、バーカ。
Oh no, she's really sulking now. If we leave it like this, it'll drag on for another week. I'll buy you an ice cream later.
ハーゲンダッチのストロベリーね。
She turns her back to us as we tried the softly approach to appease her, and goes back to teaching Asa about FRP.
だいぶ形になってきたわね。こんなのが大きなグライダーになるんですか？そうよ。へえ。自分たちが作った翼が飛んでるところを見るのは最高よ。
A fire was burning in Asa's eyes.
私頑張ります。その息だ。
The repairs to the glider were soon completed. There were only cracks in a few places, and the repair work itself was quite easy. After that, we carried out a spot check of the whole aircraft and didn't find any problems. With that, we'd reached a point whereby, if we decided to fly, we would be able to, but...
いよいよ始めるわよ。大改造プロジェクト。
As Kotori, the leader, signaled, Ageha laid out the designs. Asa stared at the detailed diagram.
すごいですね。これも先輩たちが描いたんですか？まさか。これはあまねちゃんが描いたのよ。あまねさん？あの写真の方ですか？そう。あまねちゃんは天才だから。正真正銘のね。
Kotori intentionally said that in a way that Yoru sipping instant coffee while sitting on a chair at the back of the room would be able to hear. Before, Yoru had stolen something important from Asa, and maybe she felt gratified by that, so now she sometimes comes here with Asa. Yoru didn't seem to be concerned as she ignored Kotori. Just like a cat who, with a nonchalant expression, decides to take a nap even when a dog is barking at her. The teachers and some of the students have been making a fuss over her, saying she's a genius, but I've never seen her claim that herself.
どんな人だったんですか？その天音さんって。天然スレスレの天才よ。天然スレスレ？変な人だったよね。自分がすごいってことにまるで気づいてないみたいだったし、客観性が欠如してるのか、はたまた頭の回路が常人とはかけ離れているのか。
She would often say, "That's because I'm stupid."
でも優しそうな人ですよね。優しいっていうか子供みたい？それもとびっきり手のかかるね。
She looks very pretty, she's tall, has a good figure, and is a very feminine girl. But her eyes are like a little kid's, and it was like she was looking at the world through a prism. There was a mysterious feeling about her. These designs were made by Amane for her best friend.
そう、私たちの大先輩のはずなんだけど、実はどんな人なのかよく知らないの。イスカさんって言って、天音先輩と2人でソアリング部を復活させたんだけど、その後いきなり学校を辞めちゃったんだって。イスカ。
Asa?
あ、いえ、変わった名前だなって思って。だからこれを作るんですか？
That's one reason, but that's not all. The mysterious clouds that you saw, we told you before how that's what we're aiming for, didn't we? We've spoken many times about the last flight I took with Amane. We've been thinking about several reasons why we failed that time. There are basically 3 problems. I explained them simply so that Asa could understand. The first is a lack of lift. The glider we have now is extremely well balanced, and because of all the flights we performed, we made adjustments in the way it's been built. That is to say, it's an all-rounder. On the other hand, it doesn't specialize in any particular area, which might count as a negative point since it's been built for a specific purpose. The thing we need is wings that will allow us to fly high. When there aren't many upward drafts, we have to reach a high altitude as quickly as we can, so we need wings adapted for that. The next thing we need is piloting skills. We realize that it takes a lot of skill to find the upward drafts in the limited time we have to reach the morning glory. That's why I traveled to the airfield and took proper pilot training, and then a few days ago finally got my pilot's license. Last of all is the flight plan. When the morning glory appears, completely different weather patterns to normal occur over Kazugora. This affects where the upward drafts will occur, what kind they'll be, and how high they'll be able to lift the glider. Also, which winds we should ride. For that, we need to put together a plan. So, that's how it is. Do you understand so far? She gives a strong reply, but it doesn't really look like she understands. Not much we can do about that. She's a new member who hasn't done any test flights yet.
簡単に言っちゃうと、より高く飛ぶために包容力の翼に改造しようってわけ。それがこの設計図なわけよ。
Amane must have foreseen this when she drew these plans. However, there was no way she could have made it by herself. We would be the ones to build this glider. That almost seemed like an illusion.
じゃあ早速取り掛かりましょうか。
We head to the dock, and the first thing is to make the new wings. The same way as before, it starts with us making the shape from styrofoam. We already have experience of doing this, so we get to work without delay.
こうやって作るんだ。感心してないで朝も手伝う？はい。このヒートカッターで発泡スチロールを切っていくの。ほら、やってみ。
She's teaching Asa how to do it properly.
ゆっくりよ、ゆっくり。そう、その調子よ。慎重にね。
Sure.
広いと作業しやすいわね。
Yeah, it's a little hot though. There's no air conditioning in the dock. We were able to use the electric fan we'd brought with us to keep cool. While dripping with sweat, we became immersed in the work.
あんな汗だくで必死な顔しちゃって。理解の外にいる頑張り屋さんばかりね。
Yoru, who was leaning against the wall, turned to leave the dock. Yoru, are you leaving?
飲み物買ってくるだけ。ここ暑くて死にそうだもの。姉さん、何かいる？じゃあサイダー。
Cider.
他の先輩方は？
Huh?
ああ、じゃあウーロン茶。
Another reason why you're my girl. Oolong tea is actually amazing.
私はコーラ。
Me too.
サイダーとウーロン茶とコーラ2つね。
With a straight face, Yoru left the dock. We looked at each other curiously, but we didn't really say anything and went back to work. There was still something we needed to do as part of the safe execution of the glider improvement project. That was cutting the grass on the runway. We gathered some people to help with the work on a midsummer Saturday afternoon under the blazing hot sun. About halfway through the work, Kotori and I went to greet the landowner at their home.
まずい。溶けちゃうよ、夜ちゃん。ならこっち来て一緒に休めば？日陰涼しいよ。ジュースもあるわよ。ほら頑張って朝ちゃん。これやらないと飛べないんだから。はい。
I pushed Kotori's wheelchair back to where the others, covered in sweat, were working.
おかえりなさい先輩。どうしたんですか？
Asked Asa, looking at Kotori's gloomy expression.
みんなごめん。
Everyone was puzzled by Kotori coming back with her head lowered in apology.
どうしたの？何かあったの？滑走路を借りられなくなった。なんで？
Ageha, who was now even more puzzled, looked at me, who had accompanied Kotori. It's as Kotori says. They said we can't use it. The landowner is an old member of the Soaring Club, and last year they had willingly let us use the runway. But this year we can't use it.
実は
Kotori told everyone the situation. That person knew that the Soaring Club had lost its status. The school had requested that they not allow former members of the Soaring Club to use the runway. The one who contacted them was Mr. Tobioka. Because it doesn't count as club activities, if any problems occurred, they couldn't be held responsible. That's why they can't let us use it, even if they wanted to. It's a natural decision. It wasn't their fault at all, and they apologized over and over.
またあのおっさんか。だからどこまで邪魔する気よ。
He probably realizes that we are carrying out our activities in secret. He must already know that it was us who took the glider from the storeroom.
ごめんなさい。私のせいだわ。私がこんな体だから余計に警戒されちゃったのよ。
What? That's got nothing to do with it.
なんでそうなるわけ？
Kotori was acutely aware of something in the landowner's reaction. There certainly was an element of that. If something were to happen to someone disabled like Kotori, it's possible that it would become an even bigger problem. Although the landowner didn't actually say anything like that, it seems that Mr. Tobioka had made that implication. They didn't say it directly, but it seems that the school had said something like that to them.
何それ？最低。
However, that's not the reason. The real reason they refused is because the Soaring Club is treated as having been shut
じゃ
down.
あ飛べないんですか？滑走路がないんじゃ。お手上げね。そんな。
Asa looked sadly at her hands that were covered in dirt from pulling up weeds.
他の場所探してみたら？無理よ。平らで十分な広さがある土地なんて限られてるもの。バカみたい。
Yoru, who was sitting in the shade listening to our conversation, spoke like she was irritated. Kotori glared angrily at her.
その程度で諦めちゃうわけ？さっきまでやる気満々だったくせに。何よ。 あんたには関係ないでしょ。あるわよ。あの場所を貸してるし、姉さんだって巻き込まれちゃってるし。でもその程度ならさっさとやめちゃった方がいいかもね。ヨルちゃん、やめて。本当のこと言ってるだけよ、私は。
There's nothing mistaken in what Yoru is saying. If we get depressed and give up because of something like this, it would have been better if we never even started in the first place. That's why no one has anything to say back to her. We won't give up. Isn't that right, Kotori? Just as things were starting to go well, we were hit with a big counter-punch, which left us reeling. But we're not ones to lose heart at this sort of thing. No, there's no need to do that. It's simple. All we have to do is be accepted as a club. That's what we were aiming for originally. There's no reason for us to be depressed, is there? Kotori nods enthusiastically. The test flight will have to be postponed a little longer, though. It would appear that we need to speed things up when it comes to the restoration of the club, so that we can return to the sky as soon as possible. Should I try and do another segment? I think so. I still have like half an hour, and I could go a little past 9. Asa had become a member, so one of Akari's conditions had been met, which meant there were 2 left to fulfill. However, I will at least pop a save. Right there. Alright. And also I should probably drink a bit. I've been reading a lot. Alright. The lack of a teacher to act as advisor and the lack of qualified personnel. If the advisor is someone who has the qualifications, that would fulfill both at the same time, but that would be just too good to be true. Yeah. Alright, see you later, Shelby. Night. The teacher left, hurt, and we all slouched forward, dejected. By the way, that was our homeroom teacher. This isn't going very well. Said Asa as she looked at the list. That is the list of teachers at Keifu Academy that Ageha had made. It has information on their homeroom class, clubs to which they are advisor, and whether or not they are on Mr. Tobioka's side. Today, using that list, we've been going around and asking all the teachers who seem like they might cooperate with us. But you did really well to get all this information. We can't ask him. Even more of his hair will go white. Our advisor last year, Mr. Yamanobe, is young, but he's married. It seems that his wife is a slender and pretty woman, but seeing her husband, who she'd only just married, aging right before her eyes, she screamed, "This shouldn't be happening!" Apparently. I guess I can understand how she feels. You can't just decide something like that. Let's think of another way. It's after school. We're taking a day off from club activities. The materials we ordered still haven't arrived, so we've stopped working. Which is why, for the first time in a while, we've got nothing to do after school.
今日部活ないんでしょ？どっか寄ってこうよ。ごめん、用事あるんだ。
Ageha refused the invitation of the girls in the class and came over to me.
ねえ、葵、暇でしょ？買い物付き合ってよ。
Oh, let's go. Another Ageha thing. Let's go, let's go. This should go on another page. Let's go. Where do you want to go?
ウィンティの地下街だけど。
Kotori goes past us as we were talking. Kotori, what are you up to?
私、秘密基地に寄って帰る。
Huh? Why's that?
ちょっとだけやっときたいことがあるの。
I see. I wonder what Asa's up to. We've told her we're taking a day off, so perhaps she's gone somewhere to hang out with Yoru?
ねえ、葵、付き合ってよ。
What should I do? Ah ha 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 ha. I gotta do it to them. Jeez, okay, I'll carry your bags for you.
おー、ちゃんとわかってるね。ドーナツおごるからさ。
That's a bit stingy. Well, that'll be fine. I feel slightly hard done as I see Kotori off, then follow Ageha.
さてさて。
What are you gonna buy?
さあ、どうしよう。
What the hell? We arrived at Windy. After walking on the hot streets, the cool air inside us is irresistibly comfortable. Aga has a strange smile on her face as she walks. We're shopping, aren't we? So where do you want to go?
まあ、適当にブラブラと。なんかあったら買うよ。
Hey, aren't I supposed to be the one carrying your bags?
持ってほしいもの見つかったら頼むよ。
Say, am I just here to help you kill
い
time?
や、買い物だよ。あくまで買い物。
I'm not really sure what you mean.
気持ちを買いに来たの。
Feelings?
そう、気持ち。負けるもんか。やったるでーっていう。
You're talking kinda strangely.
負けへんで。
I ain't never gonna lose. You're so adorable. This character is actually the best. Ageha-chan. That's even more strange.
まあ、そういうこと。
I still don't understand.
とりあえず、ジュースかアイスにしよう。どっち？おごるよ。
Which one? Wait, if I know you like... Wait, if I know you like I think I do, there's something you want me to do, isn't there?
いやいや。どうしてあんたはそう人を疑うかな。あー、でも、やらせようってのは確かにそうだね。気持ちを買うの、手伝ってほしいわけだし。
Oh, I can already feel this escalating. Oh boy. Let's go. I just told you I don't understand what you
で
mean.
も、
Ageha spoke over me.
見つからないよね。
I guess not.
まだ諦めたつもりじゃないけど、今日みたいにやることなくなっちゃうとどうもね。嫌な方にばっかり頭向いちゃって気持ちが沈んじゃってさ。
You. To be honest, I didn't expect this from her. Ageha is always so cheerful and optimistic. I thought she'd never been depressed in her life.
どうなんだと思ってたのさ。鋼鉄の女 FRP で顔面塗りたくった無表情女。
I didn't say that.
まあ私でも沈むときは沈むのよ。
You do look kind of heavy, I guess.
うわー最低。これはジュースおごりだね。
Yeah,
あ
yeah.
んたの分は言った通り私がおごってあげる。何がいい？
I'll just have water. While doing pilot training for the glider, I've been running and weight training, and watching what I eat. If you can tone up your body, you can react more quickly when maneuvering. Ageha knew that already, so she didn't say anything about it and bought me some water. Okay, this one. I put the coins in, push the button, and hear the sound of something falling. Vending machines sure are amazing. It's been a year since I transferred to Keifu Academy. The more I study machinery, the more I respect technology, or rather the people who make it. These things are all around us, and they're a culmination of knowledge and technology. It's not just vending machines. Even this juice is a marvel of this kind of extraordinary technology. Taking this marvel of technology, Ageha just opens it up and starts drinking it. She swings it back with considerable momentum. Is it kind of horrible? I see. It's a tricky one. Yeah, she made a new design for a glider, didn't she? Oh, I see. Hey, oh! Mezase! Let's go, Ageha. Can you stop that? It's kind of embarrassing. Even if you shout it out loud. Oh! Hey! Ageha dashes off with a smile on her face. Why do you want to suddenly start playing around some kind of forfeit game that could ruin my life? Why do you want to suddenly start playing some kind of forfeit game that could ruin my life? I chase after her with a wry smile. Of course, Ageha and I don't actually run around in places like this. Just like how we played in the past, we naturally make a rule between ourselves that there is no running. Pitter patter, pitter patter. Wait! Stop. Like a walking race, Ageha walks away as quickly as she can while I chase her. From the underground level, we go to the first, the second, the third, and finally the fourth floor, where Himegi Sports is. A voice called out from the store, but we went straight past. Sorry, Mr. Himegi. See you next time! Why, you... We go back down to the lower levels, walking around the wide open floor, down the stairs, up the stairs, walking around the floor again. Ageha slumped down on a bench, loosening her collar and tried to catch her breath. Don't go thinking you can beat me when it comes to endurance. Ageha kept wiping off her sweat. Naturally, I'm tired too, but not as much as Ageha. Phew. Jeez, why did we come all the way here, inside where it's cool, and then end up sweating like this? Brings back memories? Oh. When Ageha and I talk about the secret base, we don't mean the place we're making the glider, we mean the place where we used to play as kids. Now it's been knocked down to make space for Windy Kazigara, but that place holds a lot of memories for us. You're right, I did too. It felt like we got back to being kids again, but it's true that I got quite excited about chasing her. Well, I guess it did feel pretty good.
だいたいこの辺だよ。
Oh yeah, I guess so. If the shopping street that was once here was still here... If the shopping street that was once here was still here now, then the secret base would be where we are now. The secret base. It was a store of some sort, but after the store closed down, no new tenants moved in, and it was just left to rot, so it was literally a ruin. They started to demolish it, but there was a problem with the funds for the demolition, so they stopped halfway through and left it like that. I remember hearing something like that anyway. We were just little kids, so we didn't really know. But that's what An-chan told us. Is that? Well, to kids our age who didn't really understand difficult things like that, the fact that it was a great place to play was the most important thing. Is that Ageha? Oh my god, that is adorable. I need like at least like 50 screenshots of this. We would climb on the outer walls, squeeze our little bodies through the cracks where it had started to collapse, finding paths inside and going deeper and deeper inside. If any adults came past, we'd give a signal, crouch down to hide ourselves, and we were very serious about it. That kind of thing was really fun. Basically, those were the kind of games that boys play, but Ageha came with Masatsugu and I, or rather it was her idea and we played there together. Yeah, it does bring back memories, doesn't it?
だよね。
In the secret base, there was a second floor and a roof. We only played on the second floor. That would be right where we are now, sitting on this bench. Not just the horizontal position, but the height too. Around here, Ageha and I would crouch down and run while playing tag or shooting each other with water pistols. That place no longer exists. We can't go back to that time. We were in the 6th grade, I think. Ageha and I have both changed. We've grown bigger and had many experiences. An-chan has started working and we are also following our own paths. Those nostalgic memories stay as memories, but drift further and further away.
でもみんないるよ。
Ageha spoke as if she tries to ease my feelings of sentimentality.
秘密基地はなくなったけどさ。同じ場所にまだ私たちいるんだよ。
Yeah, I understand what she's saying. There's me, Ageha, Masatsugu, Hotaru, and An-chan. It's true, all of us from back then are still here. We're still here, just about.
すごく嬉しかったんだよ。葵が戻ってきてくれて。これでまた昔通りだって。ここで遊んでいた頃と同じだ。あの頃に戻れるんだって。
But we're not kids anyway.
うん、わかってる。
This town isn't the same as it was in the past. When I returned to this place, I was taken aback by how much the town had changed. The windmills by the lake, and windy Kazigara too. And by the fact the shopping street that I have so many fond memories of was gone too.
もうあんなことはしないし。
What's not the same?
うん、ああ、まあいろいろとね。
Yeah, I guess we did a lot of different things back then. There are also many things that make me break into a cold sweat when I recall them now that can't just be passed off as kids playing. On a hot day like today, we'd shoot passersby with our water pistols. We used a measuring length of rope for bungee, jumping, and so on, and An-chan would get really mad with us. Masatsugu and I, using the same rope, would challenge each other to see who could stay upside down for the longest. We suffered from blood congestion, and after we got down, we felt faint from anemia. Are those the kind of things that Ageha meant?
そうそうそう、いろいろ。本当にいろいろ。無茶なことをいっぱいやったよね。
We have? There's something strange about Ageha's mood. Did something happen when I moved away? But it's been a year since I came back. If it was anything important, she would have told me about it already.
でも私たちが揃っていればいつでも新しいこと見つけて遊べるよ。でしょ？
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not sure about Masatsugu though.
あの裏切り者はホテルとくっつけばいいものをなんで会長なのよ。
Hold on, I think that's going a bit too far. If that were the case, you and I would have to get together.
え
Huh? Did I say something strange?
ああまあそうだね。でもまあ私たちはつるんでるし今だって一緒にいるんだし今更じゃない？
Yeah, I guess so. To tell the truth, after I said I felt a little scared. Agaha didn't really respond to it though, so I just kind of let it slide.
ああ今になって汗出てきた。
Agaha was sweating quite a lot as she took a breather. Wait here. I went to buy a sports
あ
drink.
りがとう。
Her throat moves up and down as she gulps it down even more forcefully than before. For some reason, I found myself looking at the movements of her throat. It's white and different to a boy's since there's no part that sticks out. Her throat was constantly moving and her exposed collarbone was also moving. The lines of her chin and neck are round and smooth, and her skin is glistening.
おいしい。
She seemed happy as a wide grin spread across her sweaty face. Even though I'm not drinking, my throat made the same kind of movement. That's strange. You don't have a suntan at all, do you?
ああまあ動き回ってるけどさ基本屋内だもん。草刈りの時ぐらいかな外出るの。
After she had finished drinking, Ageha was getting ready to throw the plastic bottle into the trash can. It's quite far away. What is it?
いや普通に投げたらこれまっすぐは飛ばないよね。
I don't know about cans, but a plastic bottle wouldn't, would it?
じゃあこの形状のものをまっすぐ飛ばすにはどうすればいいか。
If you could put wings on it, like here. If the bottle is like the fuselage of a plane, we'd have the main wings, tailplane, vertical tailplane? Why are we talking about this?
私はいつでも2つのことしか考えてないよ。
Two? The first must be the glider, right?
お、いきなり当たり。よくわかったね。
That's because we've been together for so long. I'm the same.
そっか、よかった。
She smiles happily, so why do I have this strange uneasy feeling? What's the other thing?
さて、なんでしょう。
Ageha's eyes sparkle with an air of mystery about her. What could it be? It must be something to do with our club, like what we're gonna do about the advisor?
あ
Huh? Her eyes are moving side to side. It looks like I said something she wasn't expecting.
あ、まあ、そうだね。確かにそうだ。それが今、一番大事なことだった。
In a strangely exaggerated fashion, she nods in agreement. Was it something else?
よし、ほんじゃ、帰りますか。
Without answering my question, Ageha, holding the bottle horizontally, starts running off.
テイクオフキュイーン
Quit doing that, it's embarrassing.
おっと、ダウンバースト失速だ
She throws it into the trash can. Cut that out, it's bad luck!
じゃあ復活
Don't put your hand in the trash can! I feel a lot more tired than before.
どうしたの疲れてるみたいだけど
Is it okay for me to get mad?
でも、ありがとね買い物、済んだ
Huh? I blink with surprise. When did that happen?
言ったでしょ気持ちを買いに来たって明るい晴れ晴れとした気持ちを買ったのさ一人じゃ買えなかったよだからありがとね葵
Give me a break.
何よそれ
Well, when you came out with embarrassing lines like that, it just makes me cringe, you know?
おーそう言いますか
Ageha's eyes light up, kind of like a cat's.
水瀬葵くんそこに座りなさい
Okay.
耳元でかゆい言葉を延々とささやいてあげようではないか
Hi, kudasaimasu. Stop it!
ああその嫌がる姿も時が経てば懐かしくなる青春の1ページ
no,
み
no!
んなの力を合わせて飛ぼう未来へ。僕たちの友情の絆はいつまでも途切れはしない。
No! Cringe, cringe, cringe! I'm so embarrassed, I'm gonna die! Die in agony!
人の真剣な言葉を笑い物にした罪、思い知ったか。
I understand. I'm sorry. I surrendered from the bottom of my heart. So after all that, what was the other thing that you were always thinking about? Being able to completely change the subject is another great thing about being so used to each other. But you couldn't really do that with anyone
言
else.
ったでしょ。
You did?
言ったよ。ま、そういうことで。
I feel like she's avoided telling me the most important thing.
しかし、ホモ、どうしようね。
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, we've gone from feeling all cheerful, changing back to the topic of the lack of an advisor, and the situation hasn't changed at all. What should we do? I went back to my room and sat down on the bed. I've got nothing to do. Having no club activities made me realize just how long a day can be. I take my cell phone from my pocket and look at some... I take my cell phone from my pocket and at some point I got a text. For a moment I thought, is it from Amane? And I hurriedly opened the message, but... It's from Anchan? I was a little disappointed and while apologizing on the inside to Anchan I read the text. Have you met Amane yet? Huh? She was having a meeting at our factory. She said that she might go over to Flying Fish Manor. Amane's coming? Bouncing Fish. The time that the text was sent was 2 hours ago. Kanako!
どうした？
Did Amane come by?
望月先輩？いや、来てないよ。ゆかさん、望月先輩来てませんか？今日は来客なかったと思うけど。
Thank you. I say my thanks, then go dashing out of the dormitory. When I called Anchan, he went to the trouble of coming round in his truck. I got in and we drove around the station, but we saw no sign of Amane. I tried to call her, but she didn't answer, so maybe she had already gotten on the train. It looks like she had gone to Anchan's factory to order some parts. There was no one else she could ask for such complex parts. When she went to leave, Anchan asked, "Are you gonna go and see those guys?" And she answered, "That's what I'm planning to do." However, she's quite fickle, so maybe she changed her mind. I already told Kotori and Ageha about it. They were both happy that Amane was coming to Kazigara, and when they found out that she had left without seeing them, they said, "I can't believe it! Amane, you idiot! Oh no, what a shame, I wanted to see her." And so on, expressing their regret. Okay, thanks, Anchan. No, here's fine. I have some shopping to do for dinner anyway. Yeah, thanks, Anchan. As Anchan's light truck drove away, I stood there, dazed. It was true that I had to do some shopping, but I didn't feel like doing it right away. I wanted to see Amane. That feeling had suddenly become much stronger. Would I be downhearted when she finds out that the Soaring Club isn't doing so well? Or do I want her to praise us for working so hard? I'm thirsty. I went into the convenience store in front of me to buy some juice. Then I wandered about the area. This was to ease my feelings of not knowing what to do. I'll go shopping once I've calmed down. While I was wandering around, before I knew it, I found myself at the runway. A few days ago, we came here to cut the grass, so it looks quite tidy, but before that it was overgrown with weeds. Between those weeds were lines where the soil was exposed. These were marks from where the wheels of the glider had ran over it so many times. Usually a glider is launched into the oncoming wind. However, because it was complicated to move the winch, which had been positioned there to face the wind, we always launched in the same direction. I stood in the middle of the huge wide runway and gazed towards the winch. Memories of the acceleration of being pulled by the tow rope, then floating into the sky, came flooding back to me. As I look up, I see the bright blue sky and the towering thunderhead. I envision riding on the wind in the glider. I want to fly. In our glider. I've been traveling to the airfield for the purpose of training, but flying in the glider that we made is totally different. The wind that blows over Kazigara is not the same as there. Huh? I saw someone next to the winch. Their outline was kind of blurry because it was wavering in the hot air, so I couldn't see so well, but... What are you doing? The cover of the winch was open and they were taking a look inside. Was it some sort of prank or were they trying to steal the parts? Anyway, I can't just leave this alone. As I dashed towards them, the person closed the cover, then noticed me. When there was about 300 meters between us, our eyes met. The next moment, the person began to wave their hand. Then they started jumping up and down. Could it be? Amane! I was already running when I shouted out in surprise. Amane! What? What are you doing here? The first thing that I asked was a question like that. I was aware of the fact that the first thing I said after finally meeting again sounded kind of like I was angry. Of course. No, I don't mean that. What are you doing in a place like this? No, not that. Why didn't you say anything to us? Then come out to a place like this. You could have contacted us. How can we forget about you? Aren't we always texting you? Bonehead. I heard from Anchan that you were coming, but you still didn't contact us, so I... So why not contact us before you come? Alright, we're looping. I just told you. That was all I said as my voice changed to a huge sigh. Common sense doesn't really work on her. This is Amane Mochizuki we're talking about here. No, I'm the one who should be sorry. But I've been calling you on your cell phone over and over. You didn't notice that either? Why? Oh no. Cell phones are evil. Sheesh, really? I hang my head in dismay. What happened to all my impatience and desperation that I had until just now? Yeah, pretty good. Kotori and Ageha too. How about you, Amane? Ageha called it. For some reason, Amane puffs out her chest proudly. The same as always, huh? I was relieved to hear that. Not just that she's doing okay. I thought that her being the same as always meant that she hadn't changed since the time we spent together in the garage. Amane's not a student anymore. She's part of the working world now, which means that she's now an adult, so she lives in a different world to us. That's right. After the demolition of the garage, I sent her a text briefly summarizing recent events. If she hadn't accidentally deleted it, along with all her work emails, she would know about that. But most of it was good news, and I didn't really write about the bad stuff. She's already left the school, so I didn't want to make her worried about it. I explained what had actually been going on. It's not your fault, Amane. It's nobody's fault, really. If I had to say, it was Mr. Tobioka's fault, but he might have his own reasons. The truth is, the Soaring Club garage was in the way of the student dormitory being built. It's hardly ever a fair compromise when it comes to the needs of adults and the needs of kids.
こへ来れば飛んでるところを見られるかもと思ったんだ。でもそうか。あれからまだ飛べてなかった。
Amane's expression darkens, perhaps because she feels responsible. Oh yeah, do you have time after this? I'll call Ageha and Kotori, so please come to our place for something to eat. I'll introduce you to our newest member too.
葵くんのご飯。
Amane wipes away the saliva that she had unknowingly let dribble out of her mouth.
それはとても嬉しい申し出だが、もう行かなくちゃいけない。帰ってすぐ仕事があるんだ。
Oh, really?
ママ、
It's okay. If you'd contacted us sooner... As I mumbled angrily, Amane seemed hurt as she held her hands to her chest.
ごめんよ。
Please think about it. Of course we want to see you, you know?
分かった。
The answer's in a childish way, so I couldn't help laughing at how funny it was.
じゃあ、私はもう行くよ。
By train? I'll go with you part of the way if I have to go shopping anyway.
頼む。
So that's how I had a surprise reunion with Amane. Let's go. We got 2 in one stream. Okay.
あまねちゃんと会ったの？
Yeah, after that I went to the runway and met her by chance.
なんですぐ呼ばないのよ。
Well, Amane had to leave.
葵くんだけずるいずるいずるい。
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it really was only for a short time. It looks like she'll be coming back soon, so I told her to come by and see us then.
私も会いたかった。あまねちゃんに。
Sorry. I feel like I'm not really to blame here, but I apologize anyway. I know exactly how Kotori feels.
来るのね。今度っていつ？
3 days from now.
3日後。あまねちゃんに会えるんだ。
A big smile spread across Kotori's
メ
face.
ールの返事、ろくにしてこないことはしっかり文句言ってやるんだから。
Don't go too far. Amane will probably become really downhearted if you do that.
あまねちゃんめ、今に見てなさい。
And we got 3! 3 in one stream! We did it! I swear, like, it's just the thought of how all of these screams, like, how that had to have gone in recording for the voices. Like, you're just picture literally sitting around, and then just someone just standing in front of a mic, just like, no, that one wasn't good. Do it one more time, and then they have to like do it over and over because that's actually the process of like voice acting stuff. Like, oh, there wasn't enough in that. Do it again, and then they do another take, and then it's like, oh, maybe that one was a bit too much. Tone it back a little. Like, it's just when you think about stuff like that, it's actually really amusing.
あまね先輩と会ったの？
Yeah, after that, I went to the runway and met her by chance.
なんですぐ呼ばないかな。
Well, Amane had to leave.
葵だけずるい。
Why are you giving me the exact same response as Kotori? At school, I told Ageha the exact same thing I told Kotori the day before, and she gave exactly the same response. There is a strong sense of unity in the Soaring
あ
Club.
さってまた来るんだって。マジで？来るってどこに来るの？どこ？
I think she's gonna come and eat at Bouncing Fish Manor. Okay. Whew. Had to choke that one out. Yes, Bouncing Fish Manor. Amane was drooling too. Then we'd be able to see those eating techniques of hers again. Marco, is that you? I think I see you watching my stream. Hashtag from the side. Then we'd be able to see those eating techniques of hers again that ruined the effect of her good looks.
どうせなら秘密基地に来てもらおうよ。それ私も言おうと思ってた。今の私たちの活動をあまねちゃんに見てもらいたい。
Yeah, I agree. We all thought so subconsciously, The thing that Amane left behind, the thing that we had inherited from her, and also how much we'd grown. We wanted her to see us as we are now. Hey, I have a suggestion. The truth is, I told everyone about the idea that had occurred to me the night before. Three days later, as promised, Amane Mochizuki came to Kazigara.
やあみんな元気だったかい？元気だよねみんな。この通りです。ワクワハットも元気だったか。
In the afternoon, after finishing her work at Anchan's factory, she came round to Bouncing Fish Manor.
あまねちゃんはどうなの？元気だよ。そうなんだ。ねえちょっと前かがみになってみて。じゃあなんでメールの返事しないんだ。
Pop. Right down the line, where Amane's hair was parted, Kotori gave her a great big karate chop. Whoa, what are you doing?
バカコトリ、先輩の貴重な脳細胞にもしものことがあったらどうすんの。ほんと今日はこのくらいにしといてやるわ。ひどいぞコトリ。
Amane rubbed the top of her head where it had been chopped with tears in her eyes. Seeing those mannerisms makes me feel sorry for her.
あの人があまねさん思ってたより変ね。でも綺麗だよ。背も高くて優しそう。天才となんとかは紙一重って言うけど限りなくなんとかの方に近そうね。
Something else? Hey, we've heard everything you've been saying, including Amane. Well, even if she did hear, Amane doesn't seem to have noticed.
紹介するわ。この子が新しく入った後輩の朝よ。へえ、この子が。私じゃないです。
Asa blushed and hid behind Yoru.
朝、ちゃんと挨拶して。この人が偉大な大先輩、望月あまねちゃんよ。
After being chopped on the head, it's hard to think of her as our great predecessor, but Asa seems really humble in front of her. She really is a good girl.
はじめまして、風と朝です。望月あまねだ。よろしくな、朝。
Asa is really excited by Amane being so friendly towards her all of a sudden and giving her a handshake. Because Kotori had told her so many times about how great Amane is, it seemed that Asa had believed every word of it.
ただの部外者です。どうぞお気になさらずに。そうか、よかった。
Sarcasm doesn't work on Amane! She just took it at face value and seemed like she wasn't worried about it at all.
じゃあ早速ご飯にしよう。もうお腹ペコペコだ。
Damn, she just bodied the hell out of Yoru.
何言ってんのよ、あまねちゃん。今日は葵くんのご飯を食べに来たんだぞ。私らに会いに来てくれたんでしょ。それもある。
That too. She said it like she was meeting us while she's on her way to get dinner.
私たち先輩に見せたいものがあるんです。そうなのか。じゃあご飯の後で。ご飯の前、葵くん、ハンバーガーなんかない？
I gave her a bread that I had bought, thinking I would eat it for lunch, but had forgotten about. Here, eat this to keep your hunger at bay.
あー、うぐいすパンだ。さあ、行くわよ。
To the secret base,
久しぶりだな、ここに来るのは。
said Amane as we climbed the gentle sloping path of Windmill Hill. We flew over here so many times on our test flights, didn't we? Flying over here felt good, so it was a regular course when we were testing.
来年ここに私が設計した風車が立つんだ。え、そうなんですか？
Amane
ライ
nods.
ター制作で得た空気力学なんかのアイデアを使って新しい風車をデザインしてみたんだ。実験的に何機かここに建てられることになっている。新しい風車が立つんですか？
For some reason, Asa's eyes sparkle as she joins the conversation.
ああ、来年だけどな。仕事の片手間に設計図を書いていたら他のスタッフに見つかってしまってな。知らない間に実際に作ることになっていたんだ。
Because of that, the number of calls and emails with requests has been increasing. She mutters. She's still a natural-born klutz, or should I say a genius. Then, while thinking about the windmill that Amane had designed, we arrived at our destination. Here it is, Amane. Entering the dock, Amane looked up at the vast ceiling. Amane takes a look at the dock's facilities. Thanks to this place, the plan that we've been working on is proceeding smoothly. We grinned while standing in front of the glider that had been positioned there. While Kotori and Ageha whisper to each other, Amane checks over the aircraft that was in the middle of being built. We were improving it and we were improving it according to the designs that you left behind. Ageha holds out the designs that had been put over there. Amane looked at them quietly, and it wasn't clear if it was with a sense of nostalgia or sadness. We carefully considered, piece by piece, the possibility of making the parts. We hypothesized the actual construction of all the parts in the plans and carried out a realistic simulation. That was really painstaking work, but thanks to that, we were able to confirm that we could actually make it. That's why we can do it. We will fly, bearing everyone's dreams, with this thing. Asa held up her hand and ran towards us. Then she slipped and fell over. Are you okay, Asa? Amane seemed relieved as she spoke, having seen all of the facility once we had moved back from dock to the office. Amane must have been worried about us, which is just like her. It seems like Asa has gotten quite friendly with her already. Anyway, Amane, there's something I want to talk to you about. I spoke to her in a somewhat formal tone. Nervous expressions appeared on Kotori and Ageha's face. The reason why we brought you here is not to show you the new base. I nod sharply. Then I look at Kotori and Ageha once more to confirm our intentions. They both look back at me to tell me, go ahead. Asa just had a nervous look on her face as she gripped her bottle of soda. Amane, can you become our advisor? Because we don't have an advisor, we can't be recognized as a club like we talked about before. After that, we asked several teachers, but of course they all refused.
あんまり意味ないし。
As far as that's concerned, you have all the required qualifications and you have experience of managing a glider.
それはまあそうだが、でも私は先生じゃないぞ。
That shouldn't be a problem. I am the one who thought of this suggestion. Before I changed schools, I was in the cycle racing club, but the coach was a pro racer who had been invited from outside the school. Bringing in an outsider to be the coach is quite common in top-level sports clubs. And it's also not unusual for arts-based clubs to bring in experts. Amani had graduated from our school, so she was already very familiar with it. This meant that the chances of it being permitted were much higher than if we were to bring in a complete outsider.
あまねちゃんしかいないの。お忙しいとは思うんですけど。
Seeing us all bowing our heads, Amani goes into deep thought. She walked once around the office, then picked up the picture frame that was on the shelf.
あの時、私はグライダーと関わるのはもう最後にしようと思っていた。私の専門分野とは違うし、高いところはあまり好きじゃないからな。それに、もうイスカはいない。
Iska is no longer here. That meant that Amane didn't have any reason to continue having anything to do with gliders. Amane.
いいの？それで。だってあの時、もう少しで届きそうだったのに。届きそうで、届かなかった。きっと、そういうことなんだと思う。
Amani speaks as if she has realized something. That time, inside of you, you'd already found the answer. As Amani answered without hesitation, the rest of us, without knowing it, all hung our heads. It really was all a thing of the past. Amani and gliders. We kinda knew this already, but now we felt that the truth we didn't want to accept was right there in front of us. Amani looked at herself in the photograph, the picture of herself with a slightly awkward smile on her face.
私は君たちに返しきれないほどの恩がある。今度は私が君たちの力になる番だ。じゃあ、あ、引き受けよう。やったー。やったよ、小鳥、青い。
Yeah, we'll be able to do something about it now. We all instinctively gave each other high fives and hugged each other to express our joy.
まったくもう脅かさないでよ、あまねちゃん。本当ですよ。実はな、さっき話した新型の風車なんだが、特別実習という形で慶風学園の生徒が建設プロジェクトに参加することになっているんだ。
Alright.
あ、それなんか聞いたことあるかも。大掛かりな体験実習があるから希望する生徒は申し出るようにって、そのことだったんだ。
The ones taking part must be mostly 4th and 5th grade students. Even though they say they're recruiting those who wish to take part, they didn't ask us 3rd graders. I wonder where Ageha heard that rumor.
私はその授業で講師をするんだ。
Pow! Amane proudly sticks out her chest. Her ample chest jiggled as she did
そう
so.
だ、すごいだろう。私は先生だぞ。大人なんだぞ。
As always, the thing that she's boasting about is a bit off the mark. Compared to teachers, those at the center of a big project like this are supposed to be of an even higher
じ
level.
ゃあ、あまね先輩が授業をするんですか？まあな。
With that, Amane arches her back, pointing her nose to the ceiling. The rest of us say, there's no way she could do that, is there? Amane's terrible at teaching people.
慣れないと先輩語を理解するのは難しいよね。かわいそうよ。選ばれた優秀な生徒たちがかわいそうよ。
かわいそう。
学校で会ったらちゃんと望月先生って呼ぶんだぞ。留年しまくっていい年して学生続けてた人が今さら何言ってんだか。
While we were having that kind of conversation,
なるほ それで風車か。あれってあなたの設計だったのね。
Yoru, did you know about the plan?
ええ、だってそのプロジェクトにお金出してるのうちのおじいちゃんなんだもん。え、そうなの？慶風学園の生徒に参加できるのおじいちゃんの差し金よ。学校の実績につながるし、いい宣伝にもなるしね。私も参加しろって言われたけど面倒だから断ったわ。
Oh, is that so? Now the conversation is going off on a completely different tangent. Well, somehow she accepted. We've taken another step forward.
じゃあ帰ろう。お腹がペコペコだ。
We left to go back to Bouncing Fish Manor to see Amani's eating style, which ruins her beautiful image. Boy, this game loves pushing that point. Oh my god, we're still going. Oh. A few days later, we boldly made a trip to the student council room, bringing Amani with us, who had come to the school in connection with the special training exercise. Then, having fulfilled all the conditions, we received the seal of approval from Student Council President Akane Kumoi for the restoration of the Soaring Club.
まさか望月先輩を引っ張り出してくるなんて。
Still, with an element of amazement in her voice, Akane announced her desire to participate in the new type windmill construction project, there in front of Amane. Then, the next day,
ごめんなさい。
during lunch break, thinking that Akane had come to visit our class, she suddenly bowed her head with a somber expression on her face. What's up, Akane?
あかりさん、ここは俺が。
Masatsugu, who had been following her like a servant, tries to go ahead of her, but Akane holds him
い
back.
え、私からお話しします。一体何なの、会長。あなたたちソアリング部の件なんですが、部活への復帰は職員会議で却下されました。どうしてですか？条件は整っているのに。厳密にはまだ却下はされていないのだけれど、一部の先生が強硬に反対し、結論はうやむやになってさ。
When she says some of the teachers, we can guess who she means without her having to tell us.
ダメよ、そんなの。承認されなきゃ却下されたのと同じじゃない。
Akane gives a nod with a gloomy expression. We fulfilled all the conditions you gave us. What other problems could there possibly be?
望月先輩は臨時の講師であり、またお忙しい身でもあるわ。クラブの顧問は荷が重いのではないかというのと、反対していた先生方の言い分よ。そんなの天音先輩の勝手じゃないですか。先輩はやってくれるって言ってるのに。ええ、私もそう思うわ。でも先生方はせっかくの望月天音というリソースを無駄に割くことに批判的なのよ。ちょっと無駄って何よ、無駄って。
お前らギャーギャーうるさいんだよ。あかりさんはな、お前らなんかのためにギリギリまで頑張ったんだぞ。あの飛び岡のおっさんのところにも直接乗り込んでいって。
いいの、佐々木君。もともとそういう約束だったんだもの。力が及ばなかったのは私のせいよ。責められても仕方がないわ。別に私らは会長を責めたいわけじゃ。そうですよ。悪いのは先生で。
Isn't there something we could do, Akane?
このままうやむやにさせるつもりはありませんが、今すぐどうにかできる問題でもないと思います。ですから我々生徒会がソアリング部を部活動として承認します。これが生徒会が発行した書類です。
She said as she handed us a document that was evidence that the Soaring Club's restoration had been approved by the student council. It had the proper seal stamped on it
わ
too.
ずかですが生徒会の予備予算から部費も出します。滑走路の件もこちらから連絡して使用許可をいただきました。
Okay, one step at a time.
仕事早っ。何かあったら生徒会で引き受けます。とは言い切れないのが申し訳ないのだけれど、ですから慎重に、なるべく問題を起こさないようクラブ活動に勤しんでください。ありがとう、会長。
ありがとうございました。
ございます。それでは私はこれで。
Akane gave a bow, then, dragging Masatsugu with her, returned to leave.
そうだ、以前学校の倉庫から紛失したグライダーですが、もしどこかで発見されれば それはあなたたちのものよ。ソアリング部の備品として
Oh, hey!
使ってくれていいわ。
Oh, we found it! Isn't that hilarious? Said Akari as she gave a big grin.
それでは失礼すればね。意外と融通きくんだね。
She might not seem like it, but it's like she's cheering for the Soaring Club.
私あの人のことちょっと好きになっちゃった。
So that's how our Soaring Club made a safe. Well, sort of. Returned after a 1-year blank. Ooh, my goodness. Alright. And this, for sure, is where I'll end it off for now. I don't know how much of this game is really left, but I can imagine not entirely too much. So, this will be... Oops.
ソアリング部の復活を宣言します。
Yes, the return of the Soaring Club. That is the main objective of this. Alright, so this will be where I call the stream for now. Thanks to everyone who stopped by, Shelby, a bit of Kane, and even Marco for like a few seconds. This game is definitely great. I'm enjoying it more and more each time I play it. And yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how the rest of this will play out. Grabbing the Ageha ending. And possibly move on to other games. But for now, again, I don't know exactly how much of this game is left. I can imagine not entirely too much. All things considered, it seems to be moving along quite nicely. Amane is now our advisor. And obviously she's made a return since her leave, which is also really hype. And yeah, things are just going to keep on proceeding for next time. However, next stream we'll be going into Twilight Princess and possibly clearing out the next dungeon. I'll have to see what exactly happens by then, but definitely look forward to that if that's more your forte as opposed to these visual novels. But I definitely do enjoy these types of games as well, ones where you can just sort of sit back, relax, and just immerse yourself in stories and characters and the setting. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Take care, and catch you all next time.